Hey everybody, synicalmanor here. Today we're in the Mirage 2000C, and I'm going to go over how to use weapons in this thing. So I'm going to show you a couple different loadouts. We'll go out from the outside of the aircraft and take a look at some things. Actually, let me just finish my... alignment there. Anyway, alright, so we're going to take a look at some bombs and things like that. Alright, so we've got, you know, you want to always probably carry some air-to-air weapons. So I'm going to go with the Magic 2s, DDMs, that's what I use. If you're going to air-to-air weapons, of course use the Super 530s, they're great. We'll put a centerline tank on. But I wanted to do this to show you something. And I'm just going to put some belugas on for bombs. And I always do the tracers so I can see the rounds, and I usually do 104 flares to 144 chaff, and we'll change it to the
Request refueling.
2004 NATO Tiger.
Request rearming.
We'll go ahead and arm that up, and I wanted to show you something. Now you can use air-to-air all you want. Let me just show you, and it's easier for me to show you once the ordnance is on the airplane than it is to kind of explain it. So just a few seconds here, we'll get loaded up. There's our tank, and our belugas are coming on. Super 530s and the Magic 2s. Of course, our configuration's going off of the plane. So, like we said before in a previous video, that anytime you have ground weapons on, you have to kind of change the way the plane maneuvers. So we go to it's a limiter, basically, is what it is. So you just put this switch here to down, and then if we drop off bombs or tanks, then we can go back to air-to-air. Alright, so now we've got all those weapons on board. Now say we're flying through the air and I want to select the Super 530s. Well, they're not here because we got an error. Something about this plane will not let you use this configuration. If you take off the Super 530s, it works. You can have the Magics, but it won't let you have the Super 530s. And I figured that out earlier because I was trying to do this video, and I was like, well, wait a minute, what's going on here? So I did a couple of configurations, and we'll take a look at some other stuff. This video is really to show you how to use weapons and everything, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention, so you don't have the same problem that I did, and you're like, what's going on? So we'll change that out to some belugas, and we'll hit OK.
Request rearming.
We'll rearm this, and you'll see that everything's fine then. As soon as the ground crew decides to, swap that out. Alright, now there, belugas on board. Got rid of the 530s. Go back into the aircraft, and you can see now we have selectable weapons. There's our Magics, there's our fuel tank, and there's our belugas. Okay, so I'm going to get her in the air, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to use these weapons. I did forget to put an enemy aircraft into the mission here, so I won't be able to really show you how to do the Magics. We may use that for a different a different mission, but I will show you how to select them and use them. I just won't be shooting any aircraft down, but I will drop some bombs and show you how to do that. So I'll be with you in just a moment, and we're going to go ahead and take off and get on course, and then I'll be back with you. Alright guys, so we are burning towards the target. Well, we were burning towards the target. What we've done is I've emptied out this fuel tank, and so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to show you how to drop a fuel tank, or if you want to drop ordnance. So this is your gun master switch. You always want to turn that on, and this is your master switch. So guns and master switch. I know some aircraft you just turn the master switch on, master arm switch, but this one has two, guns and master arm. All right. So what we'll do is, if we want to drop this centerline tank that we have, we'll go to this little door, this little yellow door. We'll open it up and select it, and then we'll hit the RP. That's your fuel tank, and then we'll go outside and just hit the weapon release button, and that's gone. Make sure that you don't have any weapons selected, because you could accidentally jettison a weapon. See, I don't know why it still shows up on the computer, but when we turn that switch off, it's still there, but it is gone off the aircraft, as you can see. Okay, so I'm gonna put the plane in active pause, and I'm gonna go over some of these weapons with you. Okay, so we're going. We've got the belugas on board. We will select those because that's what we're going to be dropping. We've got some static T-55s up here that we're going to drop them on. Over here is our bomb fusel. I believe that's inert, tail, nose. We're going to go nose. You're going to select your quantity. We have 8 on board, so we're going to go 8. And we want to do this. This goes in 10-meter spread, so we'll do 10 meters on, or 10 on here, which would be 100 meters. Okay. And a couple things to show you here on the controls. Now I've got these mapped to my joystick, but if I hit up on one of my hat switches here, I've got CNM neutral, which basically just no weapon selected. I've got a magic switch, and I've got a gun switch. I would highly recommend those being used on your HOTAS. You can use key bindings if you want as well, but they're so bad, you know, if you're using a HOTAS, which most of us are, you should definitely use these. Also, the one other thing you'll need to use is a selector switch for your systems. We're going to use a command switch forward, and we'll be using command switch aft. And I've got a depress switch on here, that way if I've got a target locked up, like an air target or something, I can get out of that. And to lock up a target, there's 2 different ways. You can hit enter. I don't use this mode. Actually, I'm supposed to have it bound to my HOTAS. I put that on my throttle. That's like a soft target lockup. Like, they don't even know we're locked to them, but it's so we can kind of lock them up and see what they are, identify them. But what I use is the TDC depress lock. I've got that bound to joy button 3. I've got the X56 Rhino that I fly with, and that's on my 3. But that's a hard lock. They know they're locked when you lock them up, and because I can't, and the reason is the other one, that's the enter button. When I lock that one, not all the time does it lock up right. Sometimes it'll lock, sometimes it won't. So I just generally use the hard lock, because I know if I'm gonna lock it up, more than likely I'm going after it to kill it. So they're gonna know I'm there anyway. But those are a couple things I wanted to go over. So I would recommend binding all those to your HOTAS or your throttle, whatever's easier for you, and using that. So we'll go over the controls when we get closer. Alright, so we're going to come out of active pause now, Go ahead and select waypoint 3 because that's where I've got my targets. Okay, and you can see it somewhere out there. Right there. Oh, we gotta take it out of autopilot might be helpful. Alright, so we're gonna come out and we're gonna hit weapon select forward. And we went over, and that's gonna give us our pipper. We're gonna go ahead and increase power. We're gonna swing out just a little bit so we can get lined up on that runway. We're gonna be coming over this full burner when we do. Now these like to drop between I think it's 350 and 650, something like that. But these belugas are basically anti-tank grenades, is what they are. So we're gonna get on target here. We're gonna dive down, full burner. Once we get over the runway here, we'll just start holding down and they'll drop accordingly. So, pickle button. We'll pull up. And you can see them where they hit there. And now we're getting a fail light because we need to reconfigure for air-to-air. Because we have no more bombs on board. Okay, and then to get out of that, you just hit weapon select aft or your command aft. That'll take you back to your regular HUD. So now that we don't have that, those bombs, but we do still have the pylons, go ahead and drop them. So we'll open up our we'll deselect this here. We'll open up our door here, hit our switch, hit the BF6, go to the outside view, weapon release, and they're gone. Then you do have to hold that weapon release for a few seconds and it'll come off. Okay. So we're going to go back around and I'm going to put it in bore sight mode. I can select my cannon. We're going to do a little gun run. Show you what those 30mm cannons can do. So if you select this, and remember, if you don't have this red switch here on, that's your gun arm safe switch, it will not fire. Go ahead and whip around here. Trying to just locate our target. There it is. So we get a little altitude here so we can dive down on them. And I don't know what if this will do much to a tank, you know, because like I said, these are T-55s down here. So we're going to roll in and roll out and roll around and all that good stuff. Get on target here, and let's see. Why is my cannon not working? Well, that's working now. Why wouldn't it work? Huh. Oh, well. Let's try this again. I have no idea. Sorry about that. Now I've got my cannon set to full blast, basically. It's on automatic, so it will fire as much as I hold the trigger, and it does go quick. I've got 116 rounds left. Let's see if we can get some rounds on target here. it's not doing anything. Thought we were going to crash there for a second. But if you wanted to do a burst mode on the weapon, you come down here to this panel here, and you will hit the par on the right here, and let's see here, fire the cannon. See how I'm still holding the trigger, and it only fires so many rounds. Let's see how many rounds we got. 40 rounds left, so it fires 30 rounds. Now if I take it off, we only got 10 rounds left, but I can just hold it down and fire as many as you want. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful to you. And so we'll do a low pass here and just see what we did to these tanks. But hopefully that'll help you out with your weapons. Just remember, like, I know when I was learning, I was like trying to drop bombs and stuff, and they were, you know, I always have this little area that you see up here, this little runway. I've always got that set up as my like my training grounds or whatever, but I didn't have the tail or nose selected, and it'll still drop the bombs, but they wasn't blowing up, and I was like, what's going on? So make sure you have that selected. So let's see what we did. Did we do any damage to them? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. But those are just some things that I wanted to show you on those bombs and how to select things. But hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was helpful. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.